Spaceport at Rattan Field Board of Directors meeting on August 19th, 2025. Pledge of Allegiance, please stand. Ready, begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call. Director Krokol.
Present.
Director Hanson.
Here.
Director Valentine.
Here.
Director Parker.
Here.
Director Allred here. Roll call, all is present. Approval of agenda.
So moved. Second.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Votes unanimous to the approval of agenda. Community announcements. Do we have any community announcements? No announcements. Consent agenda. Staff recommends approval of all items by one motion. A and B minutes. Regular meeting for the 5th, August 5th. Resolution to declare certain property surplus.
Make a motion to approve consent agenda items A and B.
A and B. Motion to approve.
I'll second.
We have a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? And resolution passes unanimously. No action items. Boy, this is moving pretty fast. Reports, Director of Operations.
Good afternoon. So for Operations Scouts, I did a little bit of a change. We are seeing more and more that the 2024 operations was a bit of an anomaly. We had a very busy year in the operations counts for 2024. 2025, we had a fairly busy year, but we were still down about 215 operations for the month of July. But I did want to put in some perspective for those. So comparatively, even though we were down from 2024 operations, we were still up over 2023 and 2022. So yes, we are seeing a downward trend from what we saw in 2024, but it is becoming increasingly apparent that it was just a very busy year here at Mojave and that the airport is still growing and we are still seeing an increase in operations versus those historical trends. The other thing I wanted to touch on was the 2-year anniversary of the Mojave Air and Spaceport Operations Department. So a little bit of backstory. Before I got here and when I started here at Mojave, there was the Director of Operations and all of the inspections, maintaining things on the airfield as far as getting prepared for inspection, operational safety, as well as the other duties. And that job was solely on the Operations Director. When I started, Tim Reed approached me with the idea of taking on the security team and training them to become operations specialists. So we went on that adventure and we brought over the security department to the operations team and trained them on how to become operations specialists, like you would see at a commercial service airport, an international airport, any of the larger airports in the country. So they are trained to what are known as Part 139 standards. And those are the standards that, say, LAX is held to, Bakersfield, Meadowsfield, Fresno. Those are the standards that larger commercial service airports are held to. And so that provides a better baseline for safety on the airfield, making sure that we're maintaining it appropriately and meeting the standards that the FAA sets. Just a little bit fun infographic. by the numbers. Since the operations staff has come on board and come online in that department, they've overseen 42,000 aircraft operations. They've completed over 1,446 airfield inspections. This infographic is a couple weeks old, so we're probably a little bit more in the closer to 1,500 for those inspections. They've issued 356 Everbridge notifications for safety and security of the airport, as well as incident reporting. They've had over 284 wildlife logs and mitigation efforts, and they've responded to 45 significant incidents. And we say significant, it's something that generates a report, has some sort of follow-up. There's either a damage or filing with the FAA. And I put a little joke here, and of course Floyd isn't here to enjoy it. More work orders than we can count, because they have certainly done their due diligence in ensuring that those work orders are submitted. And it did come into fruition in May of this year when Caltrans came out, and we got one of our first zero discrepancy inspections that this airport has seen in a very long time. So if you see one of your operations team while you're out and about on the airport, I do ask that you give them a big thank you, because they do work. They are here 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, nights, weekends, holidays, everything in between. You do have operations here supporting the airport. And board members, I did give you a little side piece of paper just for your perspective, to get an idea of all of the different areas that the operations team is trained in. So everything from security, both in the GA and the spaceport side, the operations center, running the Unicom emergency response to situations. That's everything from wildfires to aircraft crashes. As well as airport familiarization, understanding what those signs mean and why they are important. Of course, the inspections on the airfield and off the airfield, perimeter checks, wildlife management and depredation as needed, and then spaceport operations. And that was all I had.
Thanks, Ariel. Good job.
Thank you.
That's a lot to cover. Mr. Schmidt.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen of the board. A couple of quick updates. First, I'd be remiss if I didn't just acknowledge what Ariel just said about ops. The fact is they are a 24/7 element here, and they are really the wind beneath the wings of the airport and spaceport side of Mojave here in Spaceport. Not to diminish the fact that they get paid. They have to have facilities that are functional. They have to have vehicles maintained. They have to have access to technology. They need a safe and secure environment, all these other things that go along with that on a day-to-day basis. Her team has also been of late executing with very reduced manning. It looks like she has been able to get that fixed. So we'll be back up to a more reasonable schedule on these people. But the great work in ops, I just have to emphasize across the board, we're very fortunate. Very happy to report that the Kern Coalition grant is coming our way, $1,000. So that is totally external to any of the AIP monies and everything else we get. This will go a long way toward getting our airport master plan, air and spaceport master plan accomplished, and return some of those funds hopefully back into our coffers. So we're working with the grant committee now, getting them their follow-on data, their work plans, and all those things they need to start providing us the proceeds. So very, very happy to report that the team was able to secure that grant. Had a great visit down at Plant 42 with all the various staff directorates down there, where they were able to link up with their equivalent parts at this other airdrome. That's actually an extremely similar mission to what we do here. And they've got all the same business areas that we have. We're already growing from that visit with the ideas of doing that cross-pollination and crosstalk, so we can successfully improve both enterprises by each other's perspectives. Bobsleigh Memorial Barbecue was here in the Stewart Center. That was put on by Civ Mill. Many of you in Mojave probably know or at least know of the Slades that have been a fixture in this community a long time. That particular event used to be done at Lane Hacienda Ranch. They are simply backing out of the, call it entertainment business, resources, age, availability, etc. We were very fortunate to be able to step in and put that on here. A great crowd that was thoroughly impressed with Mojave Air and Spaceport. I can't tell you often I heard, and I know a couple of our directors were there, can't tell you how often I heard from other people, I had no idea this was here.
How many times we've heard that?
Yes.
It's great.
It is
I
great.
had no idea.
And I believe that in one or two of those cases that may translate into real sustainable business for Mojave.
That's right.
So great event and good thing to support. Joint legislative meeting was held last week. Nothing of major note other than that is a absolutely wonderful meeting put on by AV Edge to get all the politicals and their representatives in one room at one time, and that we have a seat at that table and can really get a peek under the curtain as to what's going on in the background. And early reading on legislation that could impact us and building early advocacies with the various political entities up to U.S. Congress. So solid meeting that delivers real impact. Pacific Air Show is sometimes called the Huntington Beach Air Show. They claim to be the largest public air show in the world. They say that they have about 1 million viewers if you consider the whole region. They're asking us for support to a STEM activity. They are a for-profit entity, but the Friday of the air show usually is called Arrival Day for the Thunderbirds, Blue Angels, and everybody else who fly out of Los Alamitos. They're going to open up the event for free to students at an entirely STEM-focused facility. So we're kicking around ideas as to what the STEM play from us might look like. There will be no cost for our participation, and the exposure would be extremely robust. So we have very solid exposure at a big event, be able to grow the youth of the community. And as you've probably heard from me in multiple meetings, I tend to pretty much lean that way. If we're going to do a STEM activity or a youth support activity, something that grows the kids in our towns in Southern California, I'm all in. So I think it's a great opportunity.
They don't want money. What is the ask?
Just they want people there who have a connection with this aerospace world to meet with these kids and ideally provide some kind of hands-on activity. So it could very well be maybe a better person there is the Mojave Transportation Museum. Maybe a better person there is the Air and Space Force Association, you know, someone like that. But I think we could get an airport presence there and bring forward, whether it be an assortment of models that the kids can play with that we can talk about, or maybe even some fundamental basic aerodynamic demonstrations, you know, that are down to that level. Could be as simple as you know, water rockets. It's the beach, it would be fun, and a kid gets to figure out, hey, this overpressure causes this thing to go up in the air.
Yeah.
And so yes, that's a work in progress, but I wanted to get to the board quickly that we are working with the Pacific Air Show Committee on that. And subject to your questions, that's what I have for you this reporting period.
What time of the year is the Pacific Air Show?
Early October.
Coming up.
Yeah, the first weekend in October. So this would be, I think, Friday's the 3rd, but I'm going from memory, and you know how dangerous that is.
I have no more. Questions? Anyone else?
Nope.
All right. We have no board committees. Any director comments? Items not on the agenda?
I just want to report that we had a wonderful Plane Crazy Saturday with a speaker pilot, C-17 pilot, Warren, and I can't remember his last name. But anyway, he has an airplane here at the airport, so he's a tenant. He has a Cessna 182 here. But he gave a really great presentation, lots of questions, lots of interaction. And we always like that. We had a couple from Germany that wanted to come to Plane Crazy Saturday. So we're known kind of all over the world. Everybody wants to come to Mojave Air and Spaceport. So I think that's good.
I think we've seen some floating around the Nicole's office there buying some
Very good.
products. All righty then. We will move to closed session.
Okay.
We'll have to ask everybody to leave.
Recording stopped.